So welcome to the Mystical Eye Healing Group. I'm happy that you made it, that you're here, present. And today we listen partially to the London opening talk of Joel in 1963. And that's an interesting talk too. We'll take a look at that later. And yes, we start first with a meditation, but it is like, okay, we come together, we have a moment of relaxation together first. Like before we do anything, let's just become quiet and get deeply in touch with that what is within. And mostly that works for us when we become quiet and not associate with our thoughts, not think too much about anything, or not keeping your concerns going. So this is a time to dislodge from all that, to dislodge from your ideas about everything, your concerns, your emergencies, as I call them, like emergencies, things that come up in your mind and keeps you busy for a moment. Now, this has nothing to do with that, with what we're attempting here, and that's to enter deeply into a still place. So it's really like preparing for a moment of prayer, through prayer, the communication that is available to us. And so all these words are very familiar, and we're so used to hearing them. But that doesn't mean that the prayer becomes more intense or anything. Most of the time it doesn't. So this is another attempt here that we do to give it everything, just because you can, give it everything. This is your time to say, be in your love for God and your love for your brother. And just that, it's very simple, just that, not anything else. And that seems to be quite a hard exercise sometimes. But so for now, hopefully it is very easy. And we slide into our love for God so deeply that it is like, well, that in itself is everything already. And so I'm not putting out expectations. It's more like an invitation to let it occur, to see, actually, because I'm actually using a part from the Bible as the contemplation, meditation, prayer from Corinthians 15, I think, 1 Corinthians 15. It's a very familiar quote to, if you were raised like with the Bible, then it's a very, you recognize this, the sound of the trumpet comes in it, and so in the twinkling of an eye. So the word twinkling is used only once in the Bible, and that's exactly in this spot. And that's what I love about the expression, because it's like in the twinkling of the eye, like just a little whoosh. What was that? You catch a glimpse of your divinity, of your communication with God. So it sneaks in as a thief in the night. So it is not under conscious control, in other words. So that's why this is a very precious activity that we're doing. So we're actually opening ourselves up to remember that we are being brought to life. We're literally raised from the dead, and the dead is the human consciousness of thinking that you can be separate from God. So this has everything to do with being raised up out of the dead. And that's huge, it's like this is your option to come to your resurrection. In fact, like you're literally being lifted out of your humanhood by realizing that you're not any of this, that you literally are home in heaven and not anywhere else. So that is the full story, in fact, of what we're attempting in the moment. We're going to read these words, but then actually realize how lucky you are that you can hear this, that you're, say, have all the opportunities to deeply come in touch with your divinity, because it is always present with you, it is happening in you. So this has everything to do with your experience of it all, not anyone else's. And I mean that literally, like not even Joel's experience or my experience of Jesus' experience. Like, no, this is your experience of your divinity. And that will come to you exactly in your way and has not been described before. So that's why it's a unique individual experience of our singular oneness in truth. So that's really great. So being raised out of the dead, the sound of the last trumpet. It's like, okay, so death, where's your sting? It says below that. We're not going to read that today. Well, death, where's your sting? Like, yeah, there's no such thing as death. It's like it was just an illusion, thinking that something was going on this, say, so-called in this world. And so you were lucky to hear that you can wake up out of it. We shall not all sleep. That's another phrase from the meditation. But we shall all awaken in the twinkling of an eye. So I love this. This is one of my favorite expressions in the Corinthians, because it's literally the activity of, you could say like the principle of the infinite way, or of course in miracles, or any spiritual path that really has a waking up transformational line. So that's so beautiful. So let's get down to it. So I made some sheets. They're looking a bit different today. It's always different, of course, but like now they're really different too. I love it. So I can read this without using my glasses. It's really lovely too. So here we go. So please be still with me in this meditation. And I'll read this to you, and we'll repeat it a couple of times, just like we're used to in this healing class too, like in this healing group. So sit back and relax and breathe. Don't forget to breathe deeply into your belly and breathe out through your mouth a little bit longer than you used to, just to stimulate a release, in fact, to stimulate expansion. Somehow that works that way. That's really great. It can work really well. Okay, so here we go. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Behold, I'll tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will arise, will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Behold, I'll tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality.